Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to What Your Cycle is Trying to Tell You. I'm trying to make sure that I am in all the right places real quick, so I'm just going to check on my other device to make sure that I'm live in the correct place because I don't want to be in the wrong place and have people being confused. So say hey if you can hear me or see me. And hopefully we get all of this situated. I'm using a live streaming service so that I can show you PowerPoint and all of that good stuff as we go, because I feel like it's always helpful when you can see slides and things like that. So I'm going to make sure. Yes, it says I am live. All right, this is exciting. Okay, we're going to hop in and go ahead and get started. This is going to be recorded and put on YouTube afterwards so that you have the replay always available, accessible with a link. So don't worry if you can't catch the live or if you lose the event page, because the YouTube link will live on and you can access that anytime that you want. I am Hannah Shanks, and if we haven't met yet, I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm really excited to present this information to you. I am from Kansas City. I've been married for almost 15 years, and I am a mom of two. My kids are 9 and 6 years old. And about 13 years ago, I had what I'll call a wake-up call. And I realized that the way that I was eating and caring for my body was just not going to work anymore, right? It just worked until it all of a sudden stopped working. And I really had to dig into, for the first time in my life, what does actual nutrition look like? How do I take care of my body? What does it mean to live healthy? And I found all kinds of information about nutrition, about toxins, about wellness. And I was honestly shocked at how much harmful stuff we are exposed to every day. And I was honestly outraged, just so mad, and I still get passionate about this, that places like Target and Walmart and the stores that we shop at are allowed to sell me things that are clearly terrible for my health. Because up until that time, I had lived with this paradigm that, like, when I walk into a store, someone out there somewhere was looking out for me. They were caring for me. They cared that I was healthy just as much as I did. And so they would surely not allow things to be sold to me that would hurt me and that had things that were toxic to my body. And so it was really startling to realize that that wasn't true, and there wasn't somebody on the other end of those store shelves looking out for me, that what they cared about was making money and not so much that I stayed healthy my whole life. And so that realization honestly changed my entire life. And hang on, my computer says it's running low on battery. We don't want that to happen. I want to make sure we're good. Okay, it says it's charging. Are you charging? Okay. So that realization, it really changed my life, and I became passionate about not only living as healthy and as toxin free as I could, but helping other people kind of realize the same things that I had realized and also live more naturally. So for the past 12 years, I have educated people about clean living, about holistic health, and currently I'm studying to become a certified naturopathy practitioner and a holistic nutritionist. So my deep dive into hormones actually started with my own struggles because postpartum and being pregnant twice, and then the stress of mothering toddlers and all those things, plus major stressful events happening one in a row, multiple years in a row, they left some major shifts in my body that left me searching for answers for myself. And I realized that women have just been in the dark. We've been left in the dark for so long, searching for answers about our own bodies, and we have no idea largely how they work, and especially our cycles. When I was growing up, our cycle was just an inconvenience that you deal with. You have a period once a month, and that's really the extent. And I've learned that there's so much more than that, and they're actually communicating with us on a regular basis. So today in this class, I'm really excited. We're going to bust through some myths. We're going to learn how to work with our bodies, what our bodies are actually doing, and get real tools for better hormone health. So I'm not a doctor. I have to say this. I'm not a doctor, so none of this is medical advice. I don't know your personal hormone situation. I cannot give personalized medical advice to your situation. So this is for education, and this is to arm you with knowledge and to share the things that I have learned and studied so that you can also have those resources and that understanding and knowledge, and then you can advocate for yourself to take charge of your own well-being, and hopefully find a practitioner, a healthcare provider that's willing to work with you and listen and dig for your own root causes. And I really advocate for that. I realize that's a hard ask sometimes. Sometimes it's difficult to find, but they're out there. But arming yourself and being equipped with the knowledge for yourself is one of the most important parts of that. Okay. So I'm going to change slides here just a second. Okay. So let's dive in by busting some common myths about women's hormones. We have all heard things like, and I want you to, in the comments, if you have like a myth that you've heard, things that you've heard about your cycle or you used to believe about your cycle, drop those in the comments, because I want to hear from you guys kind of some of the common myths that maybe you have thought before. But we've all heard similar things to these things, like PMS and cramping is just a normal part of a woman, being a woman, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're normal, they're common. Nothing you can do about PMS. That's just part of it. Number 2, your diet doesn't affect your hormones. You can eat what you want. You can eat super healthy or not super healthy. Your hormones are just going to be what they are. It's normal to miss work or school for the first few days of your period. It's very common. Sometimes periods are just painful and you're just debilitated for a few days. And the biggest myth of all, which this one really gets me, is that birth control pills are the only way to fix your hormonal issues like your acne, your PMS symptoms, and painful periods that you might experience. So here's the truth, okay? And hopefully you guys are throwing some of those in the comments. I'm not able to see comments in real time, unfortunately, because of the streaming service, but I will come back and discuss those, and I'm sure some of them are very similar. So the truth is that while those things are common, they are not normal, okay? Normal is indicative of what the ideal standard is. And unfortunately, our culture has conflated the two things. So we think of normal and common as being synonyms, that they mean the same thing, but they don't. Common means that it happens to a lot of people. Normal means that it is meeting the standard of which like is the ideal standard, okay? So normal we need to think of as like normal means ideal healthy, right? So I'm going to kind of use those phrases interchangeably. Normal, healthy means, because those are the same. Common doesn't mean healthy, right? Because there's a lot of people who are struggling with a lot of things that are not indicating health, okay? So common and normal are not the same thing. For decades, women have been given birth control as this like one size fits all solution instead of being taught how their bodies actually work. And I grew up in that generation. I think the generation before us definitely grew up in that generation. But the good news is we have more knowledge and resources now, more than ever, to truly understand our cycles and to take control of our own health, because your cycle is a report card for your well-being. And once you learn how to read what it's telling you, how to decode kind of what the signals are, you can start working with your body to give it what it needs instead of against it. And masking what your body is trying to tell you just by slapping a birth control pill on it and like moving on with your life is not the way to achieve your ideal hormone balance. Okay. That is not it. That is not the move. So that's what we're going to learn today, that we don't have to live that way. We don't have to just slap synthetic hormones on birth control pills over our hormones so that they can't communicate effectively to us and then just like move on and hope that nothing else happens. That's really not going to work. Okay, so why is it important to watch my cycle? So your menstrual cycle is like a built-in health report, okay? Monthly health report, which is an amazing gift. That's such an amazing gift that we don't want to take for granted. It gives us clues about our body's overall well-being, and it's not just about tracking whether your period's coming relatively consistently every single month. Your cycle is reflecting everything back to you, from what your hormones are doing, if they're balanced, if they're not, to how your stress, your diet, and all of your lifestyle choices are affecting you. So paying attention to your cycle can help you feel a lot more in tune with your body and feel like you know what's going on, and also take charge of your health naturally, because when you're armed with understanding about what your body's doing, then you know what changes you might need to make, what supports you might need to add, etc. Okay, so here's how kind of your cycle reflects your health. Irregular periods, heavy bleeding, unusual symptoms can all signal hormone imbalances or other issues like a lot of stress or potentially thyroid problems. Understanding your cycle also helps you understand your fertility, because when you're trying to conceive or prevent pregnancy naturally, tracking your cycle helps you know when you're the most fertile by identifying when you're ovulating. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, it also helps you to manage PMS and your symptoms. So noticing your patterns like mood swings, cravings, low energy, etc., can help you find natural ways to manage PMS. But we don't just want to manage PMS, right? We want to move past that, in my opinion. because ideal health doesn't mean just management of symptoms, right? It helps to improve those symptoms. And so that also helps you to know, okay, what hormone support? What do I need to be doing, eating? How do I need to be supporting it so that I can get to the root cause of this PMS and hopefully not have to deal with it forever? And then also sync with your body. We're going to talk about this next, but syncing up with your body, each phase of your cycle has different needs. Okay. So you're not a robot that's the exact same person hormonally every single day of the month. Okay. Men have a 24-hour cycle. They largely wake up every single day of every single month feeling roughly the same. They have more of ebbs and flows throughout their day as far as energy and things like that go. But women have a monthly cycle. Okay. So our month, you're not going to be the same person every single day of the month. Hopefully that lets you feel a little bit less crazy. Okay. Because it did for me when I learned that. So your energy is going to be different. Your ability to be resilient from stress, your nutritional needs, all of that changes slightly throughout the month. And so you're not just tracking days. When we talk about understanding your cycle, it's not just about like wearing a watch that tracks how many days. You're learning how to live in harmony with your body's natural rhythms. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about those natural rhythms. The first is your menstruation phase. Okay, so I don't know if you know this or not, but menstruation is actually the first day of your cycle. And so day one, day 1 through 30 or however many days your cycle is, day 1 is the day you start bleeding. I was old when I learned this. Okay, so I don't want you to be maybe as ignorant as I was, because I was like, oh, that's good to know. I had no idea how we were calculating how these cycles were working. So day 1, and menstruation is typically like days 1 through 5. So this is kind of a reset for your body. Okay. So day 1 is the first day of your period. And this is when your body starts shedding the uterine lining from your previous cycle. So you spend an entire month building your uterine lining in case there is a pregnancy that needs to support that implanted egg. And so then it sheds if you're not pregnant. So estrogen and progesterone are actually at their lowest point during your menstrual phase. That's what triggers you to start bleeding, is that estrogen and progesterone both drop. And this can leave you feeling tired or feeling like you just kind of want to withdraw, like you don't feel like doing much. And that's okay. That's normal. That's not an indicator of any kind of problem. Your body is working hard during the menstrual phase. And so you can work on like rest, gentle movement, really listen to your body, because a lot of women actually start to feel better, after days like 2 or 3 of their period. And so if your energy starts increasing quickly, that's a great sign. That's no problem. But if your energy just kind of feels a little bit lower, or you feel like you need more rest or gentler movement or just a gentler lifestyle those days, that's totally fine. You also want to make sure that you're eating lots of iron-rich food, lots of magnesium-rich food. Eat a steak on your period. Honestly, that's like peak happiness when you are in your menstrual phase, is to get a big steak, some sweet potatoes, some eggs, berries, avocado, all of those nourishing foods that are really going to feed your hormones. Okay, then you shift into the follicular phase. This is your energy building phase. Okay. So after your period, your body shifts into a phase where estrogen begins to rise. And this is preparing your body to release an egg. So you're going to feel pretty awesome during this phase. This is like peak. Everyone's favorite phase probably is follicular. You're going to feel the most like yourself. You're going to feel perky. You're going to feel social. You're going to feel happy. Moods are more stabilized, all the things, unless you're really low in estrogen, because estrogen's building during this phase, you're going to feel pretty good. So this phase is all about renewal and energy. And like I said, you're going to feel more optimistic, more productive, more motivated. This is the best time to like start a new workout program, start a new way of eating, start a new project, start a new business, whatever you want to do. Your metabolism is a little bit lower during the follicular phase. And so your body handles carbohydrates okay, but you don't want to overdo it with the carbohydrates. And as always, you don't want to be relying on refined processed carbs. Okay, so we're talking carbohydrates like apples, berries, the occasional sweet potato, vegetables, those types of things, not like cake. Okay, we don't want to be overdoing it with that. And the follicular phase is a great time to do more intense workouts and creative projects. Okay, then we move into ovulation phase. This is the peak phase. This is where estrogen peaks and the egg is created. And testosterone also rises during this phase, increasing your confidence, libido, and energy. This is by design, because this is the time of your cycle where you could get pregnant if you were trying to conceive, or if you're not trying to conceive. But so you feel the most energized for that type of trying to conceive activity during this phase because of that increase in testosterone and the peak of estrogen. Okay, so that's those shifts happen on purpose because by our primal creation design is so that it can our man and woman can come together in order to reproduce. So you're going to have glowing skin, probably stronger workouts, a boost in social energy. You might feel in the mood. You are going to notice a shift in libido because big shifts in hormones are happening. Okay. So this is your fertile window. And in this phase, you need to focus on fiber rich veggies, lots of omega-3s, lots of protein as always, and zinc rich foods, to support egg release and your hormone balance. Okay, luteal phase. Ovulation typically occurs days like 14 through 16, right in the middle of your cycle. Okay, so if you have like a 30-day cycle, ovulation's happening like day 14, 15, or 16. It is a phase. It's not just one day or one moment. And so it's like a short window of days within your monthly cycle. And then you shift into luteal phase. If you become pregnant, your body is preparing for pregnancy. If you're not pregnant, then your body is preparing for another bleed during the luteal phase. So after ovulation, estrogen decreases and progesterone starts to rise to prepare the body for a possible pregnancy. Your body needs progesterone in order to support a fertilized egg until the placenta takes over. So when you get pregnant, that's actually happening like mid-cycle, not at the beginning of your cycle, even though that's how it's calculated. And your body is needing to like majorly ramp up progesterone so that egg starts to develop and grow, and like all of the cellular changes and things that are happening. So this phase is where things kind of get interesting for women, okay? Because with the steep decline in estrogen and the sharp rise in progesterone that's supposed to be happening, this is where your body is going to start showing you if either one of those hormones are not in balance with each other, if either one of them are struggling a little bit to be sufficient or have the proper balance. This is where your PMS symptoms are going to arise. So if you didn't know that that's why that's happening, that is why that's happening. And so, if your pregnancy doesn't occur, your progesterone drops, which triggers your next period. But in the meantime, your body's kind of trying to figure out, are we needing to prepare to support a baby, or are we needing to prepare for another bleed? And things can get a little bit wild during the luteal phase. Okay, so things you need to know. Blood sugar is more sensitive during the luteal phase, so you need to be really careful to be avoiding processed foods, high sugary foods, because you can have really big spikes and problems with insulin in your luteal phase, more so than your follicular phase. So you want to be prioritizing protein as always. I don't know if you've realized that, but protein is like the key to everything. And you want to prioritize it at all phases and make sure that you're not just giving yourself like processed garbage. Healthy fats and lots of fiber. And you also want to make sure you're avoiding too much caffeine and sugar because those can increase inflammation and worsen your PMS symptoms. And then gentler workouts. I still lift during my luteal phase because I've been lifting weights for like over a decade. And my body is okay with that, but I don't lift as heavy. I don't work as intense. You don't want to be doing your super intense HIIT workouts. You probably don't want to be like running a marathon right before your period. That's just going to be really uncomfortable and a lot of stress on your body. And so more gentler workouts, lots of walking, yoga, restorative mobility work, those kinds of things. And as you learn and listen to your body, you can kind of know what it can handle versus when it might be asking you to pull back. Okay, next slide. Here's what a healthy cycle looks like. Okay, so I think it's helpful to know what normal should be. This is like the standard. So that way we can always be checking what our monthly report card is showing us of like, here's what ideal looks like. Okay, so it's okay if you're not perfectly in line with all of these things. Give yourself grace. We're learning here. But this is what like an ideal healthy cycle would look like. A regularly occurring period that comes about every 28 to 31 or 2 days. 4 to 5 days of bleeding in which you are needing to like change a tampon, a pad, or a menstrual disc or something, whatever you're using, every 4 or so hours, not more. Okay. And your blood needs to be a bright cranberry red color. No cramping or spotting. If you're tracking your ovulation, you're ovulating roughly in the middle on cycle day 14 to 16 of your cycle, in that halfway point. And no PMS symptoms before your period starts. I realize that might be shocking to you, but PMS symptoms are indicative of things that might be getting off balance, and they're not normal and ideal. Okay, so that a healthy ideal cycle looks like no PMS symptoms. Okay, and then your period is like starting it is like kind of a non-event. Like, oh, I started. I'm a little bit surprised because I wasn't miserable for days leading up to it and so grumpy and so crampy and so out of control. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. It's day 30. It's time for that to start. And there's no big debilitating symptoms. Do you see how far we've gotten as a society from these standards of like what a healthy cycle should look like? Because we're telling women and teenage girls that it's normal for them to have debilitating cramps and days of your period where you just like can't function. You have to be on the couch, heating pad, taking Advil or Midol or whatever it is. And that the only solution to that is being on birth control pills. Okay, so let's talk about what cycle bleeding means, because what your blood looks like is actually can tell you a lot about your health. It's a reflection of how your hormones and your uterus and even your lifestyle choices are working together. So here's what your bleeding might be saying. Your ideal is a bright cranberry red. Occasional clots that are smaller than the size of a dime are considered to be normal and don't usually indicate any problems. If you have pale pink or diluted, like watery looking blood, then that could indicate low estrogen levels, especially when your flow is lighter than usual. That also could be like nutritional deficiencies. It could be a sign of polycystic ovarian syndrome. It could also be indicator of perimenopause. Okay, dark brown blood is older bits of your uterine lining, and which have had time to oxidize from the previous month are finally making their way out of the body. And this is indicative of low progesterone, because progesterone is actually responsible for the full shedding of your uterine lining. So if it's low, it might not shed as efficiently during your cycle, and that leaves behind some old lining that then won't be released until you start your next cycle. Okay, so that's kind of what that means. Jam-colored red with large clots is indicative of low progesterone and high estrogen, so those are not in balance. And large clots, which are larger than a quarter, may indicate estrogen dominance, inflammation, or poor uterine tone. If you have a gray and red mix, that's a possible infection, such as an STD or a yeast infection. So you definitely want to address that and don't let that continue without getting checked. Okay, if your bleeding patterns suddenly change, are consistently painful, or they start interfering with your daily life, it's time to do some digging and figure out what's happening. Work with a doctor who will listen to you to address those concerns. But this helps you kind of tune into your body's signals. This is one way that your body is communicating with you. And so just like turning a blind eye and saying like, I have no idea, I don't look, I try to like avoid looking. No, you need to be looking at that report card, because that is your body trying to communicate with you. Keeps that conversation going. Okay. What causes PMS? PMS is a cluster of symptoms that can occur from ovulation until your period starts. So that last 2-week window, 2-ish week window. It can involve breast tenderness, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, mood changes, irritability, migraines and headaches, fatigue, cravings, anxiety, insomnia, or just interrupted changes in sleep patterns. And all of those are related to your body's response to the hormone fluctuations that are going on. Now, when I was a teenager, brand new to like being a cycling woman, all I knew was that PMS was like once a month you get crabby for a week beforehand and you have like cramps when you start your period. What I didn't know is that I needed to think of PMS as a monthly stress test for my body, because each PMS symptom and its severity is giving me information about how my body systems are responding to the additional stress of the hormone fluctuations that come with the second half of your cycle. So this is happening in addition to the stress of your everyday life. So if you are a stress case and then the additional stress of your hormone fluctuations is like causing your body to go into a tailspin every luteal phase, then your body is trying to communicate with you. Not only does it want you to work on your daily, like everyday life stress, but there also might be some organs and systems that also need addressing because they're struggling with the hormone fluctuations that are going on every month. So during the end of your cycle, your body does some really heavy lifting, a lot of extra work to break down extra hormones that are still floating around in your bloodstream. And if everything is working properly, then these hormones are processed by the liver and then cleared efficiently from your body. So if you're clearing hormones from your body efficiently, you'll have a PMS-free cycle. So what that means is that your liver is actually the key to PMS. I did not know this stuff until I started learning more about how all of our body systems are connected and how hormones actually worked in my body and things like that. And I think that's really, really cool. So your liver is the key to your PMS. So why is your liver important? It plays a crucial role in managing symptoms of PMS because it's responsible for metabolizing and detoxifying your hormones, including your estrogen and progesterone. So the liver breaks down excess estrogen through enzymatic pathways in the body. And if your liver is sluggish or overwhelmed, meaning it's not working ideally, then estrogen levels can stay elevated, which leads to things like bloating, breast tenderness, and mood swings. The liver also processes environmental toxins that you're exposed to in things like your medications, alcohol, your personal care products that you're putting all over your body every day and spraying your rooms with. All of those things are environmental toxins. Your liver has to break those down. And if it's overloaded with those things, it can also interfere with your hormone metabolism. An overburdened liver may struggle to keep hormone levels in check, which worsens your PMS symptoms, especially the more toxins that you're consistently exposed to. Poor liver function leads to increased inflammation all over the body, which can intensify PMS symptoms, especially like cramping, headaches, and fatigue. Those are signals of that. And then the liver stores and processes vitamins and minerals, which are essential for hormone production and balance. This includes your B vitamins, magnesium, and zinc. So deficiencies in those nutrients and an improperly functioning liver can contribute to your PMS. I think this stuff is so amazing. I know it's a little nerdy and geeky, but I hope that it's helpful for you to know because I thought it was really cool to learn about how important the liver is. Okay, so what do my cycled symptoms tell me about my health? When your body is having a hard time responding to that changing hormonal environment in your luteal phase, it creates physiological stress that can impact a variety of your organ systems. So like any other system under stress, the weakest parts are usually the first ones to break down. Okay. So if you tend to get cravings or nausea or bowel changes before your period, that's a really good sign that your digestive system is on the weak side and your gut health is what needs support. Your breast tenderness, headaches, and irritability, it tells us that your body's detox systems are down and struggling and are not doing a great job of cleaning up your hormonal leftovers from the month. So focusing on liver support measures, like we just talked about, and making sure we're eating plenty of cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, or Brussels sprouts are helping our bodies to detox those extra hormones. Okay, fatigue or having trouble sleeping, if you're feeling anxious, those are important indicators that you're running low nutritionally on resources that your body needs in general, and you're in need of nutritional boost, okay? So all of this information is super important for two reasons. First, by supporting and strengthening the body's systems that are breaking down, you can actually get rid of your PMS symptoms. And second, and maybe even more important, if we strengthen those systems now before real chronic disease sets in, you can live an all-around healthier, happier, more balanced hormonal life as you age, which to me, I'm like practicing for my granny era, and I want perimenopause and menopause when those things set in to be easier. And so I'm focusing on these things now and helping other people focus on these things now before it becomes a problem that you're trying to like backtrack and address all kinds of things. Okay, let's talk about cravings, nausea, and digestive issues before your period and how there are clear signs that your gut needs support. So hormones and gut health are deeply connected. Gut health is connected to everything pretty much, but hormones especially are deeply connected to the gut. And when digestion isn't functioning well, it can actually worsen your PMS. So one major factor in this is chronic inflammation and leaky gut, because our modern diets are loaded with processed food, with junk, refined sugars, seed oils, and all of those things are not only causing inflammation, but they're spiking insulin consistently so that we're storing fat and causing widespread inflammation all over the body. And they're also disrupting our beneficial gut bacteria. And that's like the trifecta of what is causing so much chronic disease, is that our guts are struggling, our detox systems are down, and we have widespread inflammation all over our bodies that are causing us to hold on to fluff, hold on to weight, and making it really, really hard to be healthy and balanced. So the best way to start healing is by eliminating inflammatory foods and focusing on whole, single ingredient foods as much as possible. So think of high quality protein, beef, chicken, eggs, fish, healthy fats like avocados, olives, coconut oil, butter, beef tallow, and then plenty of fiber-rich vegetables. So we're not talking like potatoes and corn. Those are just basically starches, not really vegetables. They're going to spike your blood sugar and cause inflammation, but things like broccoli, cauliflower, cucumbers, zucchini, bell peppers, those types of fiber-rich veggies. Okay, so one of my suggestions is to do an elimination diet if you really are needing to work on your gut health and you're just wondering like, what foods do I need to cut out, or it feels so overwhelming. doing something like a Whole30 or an AIP, or doing like 60 days of like animal-based and carnivore are really popular elimination diets right now. Removing most inflammatory foods from your system and just really paring it down can actually give your gut a break and allow it to start healing. Okay. But the goal is not restriction forever. So I don't think that you should feel like you can never have a carbohydrate again, or you can never have something with sugar in it again. But you also need to hear me and say that your body needs a chance to heal, and it's never going to if you keep feeding it the stuff that is causing the inflammation that you're trying to get rid of, right? I feel like that is obvious and common sense, but for some reason when it comes to like nutrition and diet and what we're willing to eat and what we're willing to give up for our health, we have a problem with this. Okay, so you need to really look at removing what's causing inflammation. And what we know causes inflammation is sugar, processed grains like flour, and seed oils. And so eliminating those things and then focusing on just the veggies, the lean protein, and the healthy fats is really going to get you the furthest. Now, if you're like overwhelmed by that and you're like, I don't even know how to start, a good way to have kind of a structured reset that gets you started on the right path again would be to do like a 14-day Ningxia reset. That's where you're drinking a really potent, high antioxidant drink that's going to help to cleanse your cells and help you with insulin issues and infuse your body with lots of missing nutrition and antioxidants. You're doing that 3 times a day. You can choose your elimination diet. You could do a Whole30, you could do paleo, you could do animal-based, whatever you want to do. And for 14 days, you just focus on drinking your antioxidant supplement, which is Ningxia Red, eating clean, and then moving your body 30 minutes a day. And that's really it. You focus on those things and it really helps to reset your system. Okay, to further support digestion, you can think about adding things like digestive enzymes. I really like Essential Enzymes 4 from Young Living. Fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi at every meal is going to you're going to change your gut health by leaps and bounds when you start adding fermented foods to your diet. Up until 6 months ago, I would have told you that was gross and just take a probiotic. But it really has changed my life by eating fermented foods every single meal, and they're far more powerful than probiotic pills. So probiotics are a supplement, but they're not going to give you all of the living active probiotics that you need to actually support your gut health. So if you're going to take a probiotic, great, but you still need to be eating the fermented foods every meal. So I know that that's a big ask sometimes, but just try it and you'll be so impressed with the results that you'll be willing to keep doing it. You can consider doing things like a colon cleanse. I really recommend doing one that's gentle. I have one that I can recommend that is very gentle. It's not harsh. It's not going to leave you feeling ill, or be really intense. And it actually would work really well along with an elimination diet so that you're making sure you're getting rid of the inflammatory food, but also just cleansing your gut and making sure that all of that is cleaned out and working properly and not sluggish. And then movement after meals. So a 10-minute walk or body weight exercises after a meal can reduce your blood sugar spikes significantly. And that improves digestion also, because getting it moving instead of just letting it sit there is really, really helpful. Okay, so gut health is key to balancing your hormones. And if you had those symptoms, then that's really what you need to be working on improving. Okay, next is breast tenderness, headaches, and irritability are problems with detox issues. So your body might be overwhelmed by toxins, and your detox pathways might need support in order to process and eliminate those toxins, plus the hormones that it's trying to get rid of. Toxins come from a variety of sources like medications, alcohol, processed foods, even unclean water, and the environment, which makes detox support and focusing on our body's detoxing crucial, and especially if you're dealing with these specific PMS symptoms. So here's how to support detox pathways. I'm going to try to go fast through the rest of these things, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but I also don't want this to take forever. And I feel like I'm giving you a lot of information, but you can always go back and watch the replay. So here's how to support your detox pathways just real quickly. I'm not going to go super deep into any of these for time's sake, but eat liver supporting foods like cruciferous vegetables, leafy greens, beets, carrots, lemons, apple cider vinegar, and garlic to support liver detox. You want to support your phase 1 and 2 liver detox systems with things like milk thistle, dandelion root, turmeric, B vitamins, and Ningxia Red is excellent for supporting those phase 1 and phase 2. Young Living also has 2 supplements, 2 liver health supplements that I really like, Juvatone and the Juva Flex Vitality Essential Oil Blend. Both of those are excellent for liver detox. Very easy to use, not harsh or anything like that. Number 3, improve your gut health. Eat high fiber foods. eat your fermented foods, and stay hydrated. Move and sweat daily. You can exercise. Sweating is so important to get toxins out of you. Take a hot bath with your essential oils and Epsom salt to help flush out toxins and support your liver. Reduce your toxin exposure. Reduce your toxin exposure by avoiding plastics. Switch out your plastics to glass so that you're not getting microplastics and having plastics leach into your food and your products. Switch your conventional cleaning products to non-toxic ones that you know are safe, that don't have any toxic ingredients. Your beauty products, you need to do the same thing. Switch those out. If you're not following my Check Those Labels account, I'm helping you with like the ingredients to be looking for when you're shopping, the better products to find if you're in a pinch and you need to grab something at Target, ingredients to avoid, stop putting on your skin, all of that stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, I will help you learn how to get rid of the toxins in your products and in your food. Prioritize your sleep, reduce your stress, focus on lymphatic support. This is like dry brushing. Walking is amazing for lymphatic support. Rebounding, get a vibration plate if that works for you. But just simply dry brushing every day. Get a dry brush, a cheap one at like Walmart or Target, and dry brush upwards towards your heart, all over your body. It feels amazing, and it helps to stimulate that lymphatic support. And then blood cleansing. So if you have really heavy periods, if you have really large clots, or if you've had like severe illness, like a severe infection, recurrent intense illness, or anything like that, you probably could look into cleansing your blood. And my favorite way to do that is to take a bottle of a tincture called Rehemagen. And that is supporting blood detox. It's herbal. It has essential oils and herbs in it. And you can add it to capsules or add it to your tincture red or add it to juice every day. And just take a whole bottle of that over like a 30-day period to cleanse your blood and help your body to start building new, healthier blood. Okay, next slide is fatigue, sickness, and feeling run down. Okay, so if you're just feeling off, like feeling super tired, almost feeling like you have the flu, or feeling super run down during certain points in your cycle, you need to remember that everyone's going to tell you that this is normal, and that what we've decided is that normal is ideal and healthy, and just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal or what we want. And so we're aiming for healthy here. Okay, so these feelings are often linked to natural hormone fluctuations that can influence things like your immune system, your energy levels. And while it is normal to have a little bit lower energy, to have that dip in energy when your body is requiring rest, when it's working hard, you shouldn't be feeling sick or feeling like so tired you can't function or anything like that. So you're needing to be working on your stress. You're probably not as resilient to stress, and that's really kind of like making your body run down faster. And so you need to support yourself nutritionally. So the best place to start is liver support, like we talked about. But feeling exhausted, like debilitatingly exhausted, likely means that you have some nutritional deficiencies that need to be addressed. So if you've had children, even if it was years ago, like me, you should know that pregnancy and then breastfeeding, both of those things combined, but pregnancy in general does it too. So even if you didn't breastfeed, it almost entirely depletes your body of its mineral stores. And so women need to be told how important it is that we intentionally nourish ourselves back and restore our mineral stores and restore our nutrients after pregnancy and postpartum. Instead, we push ourselves to like lose the baby weight as fast as possible and get back in the gym and like hit PRs again and get back on birth control pills just so we can like get back to normal. But getting back to normal actually needs to look like slowing down and re-nourishing ourselves to the point where we are no longer mineral and vitamin deficient. So your most common deficiencies that women struggle with are going to be B vitamins, magnesium, and minerals. And so I have talked about my favorite like mineral drink that I take every single day. I take a few supplements every day to make sure that I'm getting in minerals, B vitamins, and magnesium. And so here's kind of my favorite supplements for this. We're just going to run through this really quick. One is tincture red. This is a superfood drink that I take every single day. Do not miss a day. My energy levels, skin and hair, decrease stress. It improves stress resilience and recovery, better sleep. If there was like one supplement that I could only choose one to keep forever, it probably would be tincture red. It makes such a huge difference, infuses your body with antioxidants, and it also supports all those liver health things that we were talking about. So it's really important for hormones for that reason. Okay, B vitamins. These are my favorite ones, is Super B. This is like a B complex vitamin. It has, I think, all 8 different types of B vitamins. They're chelated minerals like magnesium, manganese, selenium, and zinc in this one. So it's also really good for your thyroid. This makes such a difference in my mood and just overall stability, emotional stability, mental fatigue, all of those things. When I don't take it, I just notice a huge difference. And then super magnesium. This is my favorite form of magnesium to take. All of us are magnesium deficient. You need to be taking a good magnesium source. I love super magnesium because it's the first one that I actually notice a difference in taking versus feeling no difference whatsoever when I'm taking it at all. That cannot be your only standard because we need magnesium whether we feel like it or not. But super magnesium contains what you need for 300 different reactions in the body, including your energy production and muscle contraction. And it also helps with physical stress and it improves sleep. So I like this super magnesium. It's combined with like a melon extract. And the melon extract actually helps the magnesium go in the body to the place where it has the highest metabolic need. So not only am I taking a really good pristine source of magnesium that they source from the Irish Sea, but it combines with that melon extract, which helps it go where it's needed in the body instead of just being like kind of wasted, perhaps because it's like a specific form that goes specific places. So I take 2 every morning and 2 every night. Okay. This is what I add to my mineral drink every single day. 5 half droppers full of mineral essence. This has over 72 highly bioavailable trace minerals plus magnesium. So it's absorbed really well. It's a great way to get in your daily dose of minerals that your body is lacking in. And they're so important for like literally thousands of processes in our bodies that we don't even think about. And all of us are mineral deficient. So we all need magnesium. We all need minerals. And these are really easy ways to get them in without it being like something nasty that you have to drink. I add mineral essence to my Ningxia Red drink. So I do like 64 ounces of water, 2 ounces of Ningxia, 5 half droppers of mineral essence. And then I add another supplement called Sulfurzyme into that. And it's delicious. And I add some electrolytes. It's so yummy. And I know that I'm supplementing those minerals that I'm likely missing. Okay, let's talk about food because food plays a huge role in your cycle. And I literally could talk about this for hours. I'm sad that I don't get to because I want to respect your time and not let this take absolutely forever. But food plays a huge role in your overall health. You literally eat either contributing to your health or contributing to disease, and they affect your cycle as well. So here's kind of some things to consider. In addition to some of the other things that we've talked about as far as gut health and things like that. So caffeine, if you're drinking like 4 full cups of coffee a day that are like regular caffeine, you probably want to consider backing that off. That's really taxing on your adrenals, and it's also like pulling minerals out of your body. So if you're supplementing minerals, but then you're like heavy on the caffeinated drinks, that's not going to be great for your mineral stores either. So I love my coffee. I have not given it up, but we have switched to decaf mostly. So I drink like half calf or decaf on most days. And I try to not like rely on it. Okay. So I'm trying, I'm trying my best. I know that this is hard, but caffeine can worsen PMS because it constricts blood vessels, which can make cramps worse. It also depletes your magnesium and your minerals. And so you can drink coffee with your food. Try not to drink it on an empty stomach if that bothers you. Drink it with your food and avoid taking it with supplements because it actually can affect absorption, especially of things like magnesium and mineral supplements. Okay, alcohol disrupts your hormone regulation, which intensifies your PMS and cramps. It's terrible for your liver. It can slow digestion, cause bloating, dehydrate you, tax your liver, which is already working so hard to keep your hormones in balance. And so that makes your PMS way worse. Refined salt and processed foods. So processed foods are often loaded with sodium, and it's not like the good quality sea salt that you hear talked about. It's like the processed, iodized, super refined salt that's bad for you. So fast food, takeout, heavily processed foods, like all of the chips and the junk food that you might start craving, you really need to work hard at saying no to those because those are going to increase bloating, cramps, fatigue, acne, and more. They're full of sugar. They're full of seed oils, preservatives, junk ingredient. All of that is going to tax your liver and make your symptoms worse. You might want to consider adding to your diet because these are kind of superfoods, especially for hormones and the way that they interact with your body and your hormones, is avocado. Avocado is one of my favorite sources of healthy fats. It's high in fiber and potassium. It's really high in potassium, which both of those can help to reduce cramping. And then dark chocolate. Yes, I know. Dark chocolate in moderation, not in excess, and a good quality dark chocolate. We're not talking about like the junk Hershey bar or something like that. We're talking about a quality dark chocolate. If you can find one, look for like the Hue brand. Those are sweetened with coconut sugar. There is, I think the Evolve brand is not sweetened. You can also get like an unsweetened chocolate and it's a acquired taste a little bit, unsweetened chocolate, but it really, like the flavor is really good. And that's going to have lots of antioxidants and polyphenols and good stuff for you that can help. It has magnesium, which can help with cramping, and boost serotonin, which can affect your mood. So I am actually an advocate of having some quality dark chocolate during your luteal phase, especially. Kind of curbs that sweet tooth, but also gives your body some good nutrients if you're getting a good quality one. Okay, so by making some small changes to your diet, by limiting those big hitters and then adding in things like avocado and dark chocolate, you can feel a lot more supported and a lot more satiated also without contributing to inflammation that might make things worse. Okay, how stress impacts my cycle. We're going to talk about movement at a different time, I think, because I don't know that we have time to talk about movement. But as we talked about, as we discussed your cycle, your need for movement and your resilience to the stress of exercise changes a little bit throughout your cycle. So you just have to kind of learn to listen to your body and not just be a robot and go super, super, super hard with CrossFit HIIT workouts that leave you feeling completely drained and dead. That's not the best thing for you every day of the month. Okay, so stress. Let's talk about stress, because I really feel like stress is kind of the root cause for everything, for all of our issues. And your menstrual cycle is like a stress test for your body every month. And when your body is strained, your weaker systems are affected first. So the bigger your deficit, or the more you're affected because of chronic stress that has not been dealt with, where you're not managing your stress well, if you're in constant fight or flight, if you're in adrenal fatigue, if you're having a super stressful life and you're not really handling that well, then the worse your symptoms are going to become. Okay. And the longer that goes on, the more severe probably your luteal phase symptoms will be. So this sounds obvious, but rest. We have a tendency to just try to be robots and push through our cycles to produce at the same level every single day of every single month and have the same motivation, have the same energy, have the same diet, have the same workout, have the same productivity expectations. And we have to learn how to rest, especially in rhythm with our body. There are times when your body's going to be go for it, sister, push hard, do all of the things, you're living your best life. But we have to stop equating that with how it needs to be every single day of every single month, and really honor our body's request to rest and slow down so that it can do the hard work that it's doing. So focus times of quiet. I am huge on taking time to spend journaling, meditation. That says mediation. That's different. Meditation, prayer, spend time reading God's word. That is one of the best things that I can possibly do for my nervous system and my stress levels, is just getting alone for a minute. And I really have to fight against the feeling that that's wasting my time. But I've really had to reframe it as I need this. My hormones and my mind and my body actually needs for me to slow down a little bit and spend some time doing something other than just producing all the time and just pushing. Okay. And that is our American culture that tells us that we need to do that. And we really have to fight against that. Another great way to support yourself and to support your stress is to use essential oils that help with stress. They have a very unique ability to impact your limbic system, which is where your emotions are stored, and to impact your breathing rate, your heart rate, your blood pressure, and all of those things that get heightened and tight when you're in a stress cycle. And they help you to literally calm your nervous system down. So finding an essential oil, it really can be any of them. There's one called Stress Away that I really like. Frankincense is my BFF when it comes to stress and anxiety. But really any essential oil that grounds you, I'm just going to grab tangerine because it's here. But any essential oil that grounds you, you just keep it with you. The more you use it, the better it's going to work to help you decrease from stress. You can smell from the bottle. You can put some in your hands and cup them over your nose. This is called a scent tint. Cup it over your nose. Just take deep breaths until you can feel yourself calm down. If you can get yourself to the point where anytime you're feeling that fight or flight or adrenaline spike, just grab an essential oil that's calming to you, that feels calming to you, and do that practice. Just take a minute for yourself. There's nothing wrong with taking a minute to help decrease your stress. And that's going to help so much. Your body's going to learn that it has resilience. You're helping your body build resilience when you're okay, I'm not just going to stay in this stress place where I'm going to ruminate and have anxiety and not be able to sleep and feel sick and not eat and all of the cascade of terrible choices that we make when we're stuck in that stress response. But helping your body get out of it helps to build resilience. And it helps you remember you don't have to stay there. You have tools that can help you feel less stressed so that you're managing it better. Okay. Really quickly, I want to go through a couple of my favorite hormone support products. These are optional. I've given you a lot of tools and things to think about and things to do and work on today, but I haven't mentioned these specifically. I have a reason why that I'll tell you in just a second, but I'm just going to run through these really, really quickly. Endoflex, this is one of my favorite oil blends for my endocrine system, which is like your entire hormone system. So healthy thyroid function, hormone balance, healthy metabolism, especially my adrenals and thyroid. Endoflex is going to help those pieces of your puzzle kind of come together better. It gives you a little bit of a boost of energy, but it also is supporting your thyroid, your endocrine system, your adrenals. I love this when you've had that. If you've had like a fight or flight moment and you can feel like you're still kind of on edge, or one of your kids has had a tantrum and they're kind of like having a hard time recovering, returning back to the normal state of mind, I put Endoflex over the adrenal glands, which are on your back above your kidneys. I put Endoflex over that and use that to help just kind of return to normal equilibrium in your mind. Okay, Progestins Plus. This is a natural progesterone serum that comes from wild yam. So we get natural bioidentical progesterone from wild yam. That's in Progestins Plus serum. It also contains vitamin E and some great essential oils that are great for inflammation in the nervous system. And it's formulated without any junk ingredients, no parabens, no petrochemicals, no synthetic preservatives or anything like that. And you can use this daily in your cycle, or you could use it just in the luteal phase when your progesterone is already building, to support the building of sufficient progesterone. That can really help with PMS symptoms, with a happier and easier luteal phase. And I really love that one. Okay, Fimogen is a go-to for more in-depth support, especially if you're facing menopause or perimenopause and your estrogen is what is struggling. Then Fimogen has herbs like wild yam, damiana, dong quai, and amino acids, along with some essential oils to support your female reproductive system through estrogen balance specifically. So Progestins Plus would be your progesterone support supplement. Fimogen would be your estrogen support supplement. You can use them both in a month. You could take Fimogen for the first 2 weeks and Progestins Plus for the last 2 weeks. That's a great option that a lot of people do use, especially to just support overall hormone balance. Okay, if I were going to start today to be intentional about supporting my hormones, here is exactly what I would grab, because these are going to make the most significant difference. And I don't have pictures of these because I just didn't have time to make this slide. But here's what I would grab. And I will post a special shoppable link. Like, you just click the link and it'll take you to where you can add them directly to your cart in the chat of this video when I'm done with it. So I will circle back immediately and post that wish list link. You just click it and you can add. If it's your first order, make sure you use the coupon code SHAREYL to take an extra 10% off of your order. That's like a coupon code for your first order. And here's what I would grab. So I would grab Ningxia Red. I have a couple of options on there for you to grab it that are a really great deal. But this one is a must. This is the must. I would start with Ningxia above anything else, to be honest, because it's packed with antioxidants. It supports your liver detox, boosts your energy, and it's going to help with hormone regulation. And it's just a great foundational supplement to start with. If you're not drinking it daily, start with 2 ounces. You can drink up to like 6 ounces a day if you'd like. It's going to make you feel amazing. Second is Mineral Essence. This is another must-have for me because we're also mineral deficient, and this is a great way to get it in. Add that to your Ningxia and water and some like some electrolytes or like a vitamin C powder or something like that, and it's going to be amazing. Third, Super Magnesium. Take 2 in the morning and 2 every night. This is a great way to make sure you're getting enough magnesium. Most of us are deficient, so we need that one. And then Super B. This one is essential for your energy, your metabolism, your adrenals, your thyroid, all of that. Especially when you're dealing with stress, you want Super B in your life and hormonal fluctuations. So those are musts. If you want to take it a step further, you would add Endoflex and start using that. And then Juvaflex is for liver support and hormone support through liver detox. And so if you feel like after listening to this that you definitely need the liver side of the support, then you would want to grab a bottle of Juvaflex, and you can use that topically or you can put it in capsules. There's the Vitality version. You would add that to capsules and take that daily. I can walk you through specifically how to use all of those products and kind of write you like a daily regimen depending on what needs you're wanting. So be sure to message me if you grab some products to get started with support if you feel like you need those, and I can help you learn how to use those, what time of day to take them, how much to take every day, etc. If somebody else shared this class with you, then make sure you reach out to them for their referral link. My wishlist link will have my referral link. I'm an affiliate for Young Living and a brand partner for them and provide education about their products. Highly recommend their products. They're like some of the best in the world. But if another friend referred you to this class and they are with Young Living, I would love for you to go ask them for their referral link so that you can sign up under them. They also are going to have resources and great things for you. Okay, here's my last announcement. So we're on time. I wanted this class to be less than an hour, so we're going to do it. I'm so excited. But as I was preparing for this class, it was going to be like 4 hours because there was so much that I wanted to share with you guys. And there's so much to say. And this is not a concise topic, as you can tell. There's so much more to go into in depth with these things. And so if this is it for you and you're like, great, I've got tools, I feel confident knowing how to go forward, and that's awesome. But if you're like, I still have questions, I still need resources, I still feel like I need help, I want to know more about specifics, I have questions, all of those things, I am announcing today, actually, that I have a course that I am building called Cycle Clarity. And this course, it's going to have 5 modules. It's going to be short videos plus things for you to read, some worksheets, like trackers and PDF printables and things like that. And it's coming very soon. So here's what I'm offering you, because I want this to be accessible to anyone who needs this information, who wants this help. And I want to be able to have women access this type of information where they're really taking just a little bit of time in their life. It's really not that big of an ask. It's not going to be a super long course, but just to go a little bit more in depth about understanding what your body's telling you and how to live with more balance and how to not rely necessarily on medications or just always feel lost about what's going on in your cycle. And so we're going to have so much more clarity inside the course about what impacts your lifestyle make, like specific daily lifestyle habits that are going to move the needle in your hormone balance. Deeper dives into how to support your liver, how to improve your progesterone levels, how to balance your estrogen levels, how to improve your gut health, how to eat and live in ways that really balance your hormones and make a difference. And we're going to talk about like cycle syncing your calendar, your life, the things that you're doing. And so here is my limited time offer. Okay. So if you're watching this video, for the first month, so for 30 days up until April 12th, you get free access to this class because I'm going to be building it out. I'm going to be adding modules and adding the information as we go. So it's if you scan the QR code, you can fill out, it'll take you to a landing page on my website that says, hey, I want in to the course, and that's going to add you to the course, give you a login information on all that stuff. And then I will start adding content there immediately. And you get access for free to that for 30 days. After 30 days, once the course is built out, free access goes away, and this is going to become a paid course for any future customers who want to have access to this information. It's going to be a big labor of love for me and a big time commitment. That's why I am going to be eventually charging for it. But I want you guys to have access to this information, and I want your feedback, to be honest. I want to hear how it's working for you, what successes you're having, what questions, and all of that. I really want to be doing it with people in kind of a cohort as I'm building it, instead of just delivering the information and then hoping that it is exactly what people need. So I'm so excited to be able to offer this. Scan the QR code. I will also be dropping a link for people to join. But for up to 30 days, you get free access to that course. And then you have access to all of the modules and all of that stuff that I will be adding as we go. And I'm so excited to offer this. I really just felt prompted to, instead of making this a really long class, let's turn it into something that can be a deeper dive for people who really want that. And we can do it together and build that out together. So register today to get inside of Cycle Clarity. I will start adding content to that pretty much immediately and building that out over the next month or so. And you get to be the first insider access people to get access to the class. And I'm really, really excited to offer that to you guys. So, okay. That is what we have for you guys. I'm so excited to get started with Cycle Clarity. So thankful for you spending your time today with me to talk about all of this stuff. I hope that it was so helpful, and I hope that you're armed with knowledge and understanding that you didn't have before you left. If you've got questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. Even if you catch the replay, I'll circle back and answer comments and questions that you guys have. I appreciate you so much, and I